Hi, I'm Kerry Southorn. Welcome back to our program. This is Leadership Radio. And get ready for another excursion into leadership excellence today. If you enjoy it, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate that. So let's talk some leadership. Today, the topic is communication, how a leader communicates with their team. And we're going to give you 4 factors that a leader should keep in mind, and then we're going to end off with a couple words on praise or correction. And we know that those 2 duties have to be handled very carefully. So, the 4 factors of communication. Number 1, communication is too important to be left to chance. It should be intentional, not accidental. It should be proactive, not reactive. Communication is too important to be left to chance. Number 2, communication more than any other single factor impacts the morale, good or bad, in an organization. And I'm sure that this can be borne out as you look back on your past experience of teams that you've been with. Number 3, communication. A leader communicates in everything that he or she does. It's not just the words that you say, although those are vitally important. It's also how you say them. It's your facial expressions. It's your body language. It's how you dress. It's how you communicate with people around the water cooler, so to speak. And then fourthly is what I would call the hierarchy of communication. The absolute best way is person to person, eyeball to eyeball. If that's not possible, the next best is the telephone or some form of virtual meeting. And then after that, of course, there's forms of electronic communication, email and so on. But if you really want to blow them away, if you really want to stand out from the crowd, try the old-fashioned Pony Express, the mail system. And my father was a master at this. Try sending a handwritten personal note to the home of the team member, thanking them for some contribution they've made to your organization. It'll make a great impact. Try it. You'll like it. And I'm sure they will as well. Well, that kind of leads us into the topic of praise or correction. And we're going to start off with correction and get that off the blotter. And I know that a lot of the literature today would say that that shouldn't even be necessary in this day and age, but that's not the real world, and we know that. So if you're going to have a meeting where you're going to address some behavior that needs to be corrected, don't start off, as a lot of leaders do, by praising the person first and buttering them up, so to speak, and then ending up with correction or criticism. Don't do that. If you do, your people won't trust you. They will think, well, there's always a hammer coming after the compliment, so I don't trust the leader. I like the way the 1 Minute Manager, which was a popular book about a generation ago, I like the way they suggested it. Start off straight away with whatever you're there to say. John, Mary, I've noticed that you've been showing up late a couple times a week. And as you know, in our organization, we have a real high standard for starting on time. So start off with what you're there to say and end off on a high note. But John, Mary, I'm confident that you have the potential to be one of the best members of our team. So let's go on from here. So you end on a high note. Now a little word about praise. I would suggest not piggybacking anything else on the back of your praise. When you praise someone, let the praise stand on its own. Let the individual enjoy it. And if you have the next challenge you want to introduce, do it at a later time. But let the praise stand on its own. I used to have a leader that would come to me and say, Kerry, you had a great week. How about doubling it next week? Well, I think you can see that that really robbed from the benefit of the praise, because you're feeling like it's never good enough. So there's some ideas for you on how a leader should communicate with his or her team. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed being with you. And remember, leadership makes all the difference when it makes a difference in you.